Hola amigos y amigas, I am in Madrid, Spain, but you probably can't tell that because I'm just in a standard hotel room. Though I feel like in Europe, there's a lot of those bathrooms with the big windows so you can watch other people take showers. Yeah, I didn't grow up, that's weird. But yes, I'm here for the European Regional Finals for the biggest FIFA 17 tournament on the planet. And of course, I'm here to serve you warm ballers. So let's get right to this week's previews and predictions, starting with Arsenal versus Manchester United. So let me set the stage here. Arsenal are in 6th on 60 points. And Manchester United are in 5th on 65 points. So if the Gunners want to end their season on somewhat of a high note, this is a must win. A must win, which is actually a pretty good name for a show because Arsene Wenger has never beaten Jose Mourinho in a competitive match before. However, United are coming off a tough game midweek in Spain for the Europa League, which included injuries to Ashley Young and the game-winning goal scorer Marcus Rashford, which just adds to their ever-growing injury list, so they will definitely have a makeshift lineup on the field. I mean, Wayne Rooney might even start. You remember him? Which means this is as good a time as any for Wenger to finally beat his old nemesis, but we all know that he's not going to, because that's not how Wenger rolls these days. He's just not meant to end his time with Arsenal in a positive way, so my prediction is going to be 1-1. And up next, it's Barcelona versus Villarreal. Now with this game kicking off 2 hours before Real Madrid take on Granada on the road, it is imperative that Barcelona gets all 3 points to send a message to Madrid that they have no room for error, and that there's even more pressure on Madrid to perform than there was before, though let's be honest, I feel like anytime you put on the Madrid jersey, there's always pressure to perform. Anyway, back to this game. With Neymar back from suspension and Villarreal missing their top goalkeeper because of injury, and Barcelona winning their last 10 straight games at the Camp Nou, I think this is only going one way, and that's Barcelona winning big 4-1. And now let's head to Italy for AC Milan versus Roma and speak with previews and predictions Serie A expert Adrian from Rabona TV, who's going to break down this game for us. Adrian?
The Derby della Mila-Roma. That's a made-up name for a real rivalry that in the last 6 matches has seen 32 yellow cards. Milan finally got that money, but they haven't got the results lately as they are winless in a month. Lost to a 17th place Empoli and drew 18th place Crotone. That's only 2 wins in 7 matches. Roma lost their last match 3-1, but they are strong on the road and have won 5 of their last away matches, scoring at least 3 in their last 4. It will be tough for Milan as both Rudiger and Kevin Flop Like a Fish Strootman are suspended. But I still think that Roma's going to come through with the goods to hold off Napoli in 2nd place, and they'll do it thanks to Edin Dzeko, whose Bosnian forehead will be the decider in this 2-1 win. Jimmy, who you got, mio bel americano?
Thanks for asking, my Canadian friend. Well, with the news that Francesco Totti is retiring at the end of the season, I feel like that's the emotional boost that Roma needs to finish the season strong and finish in 2nd, because Juventus has got this wrapped up. So I agree with you that they are going to win 2-1. Also, I should mention that in the last video I said that Francesco Totti and Andres Iniesta would probably go down as 2 of the best players to ever play for one club, but I think Ryan Giggs and Paolo Maldini should be included in that list as well. So thank you for everybody in the comments that mentioned that. You guys are smarter than me. And now it's time for a little German action in Borussia Dortmund versus Hoffenheim, because it's the battle for automatic qualification for the Champions League group stages. Hoffenheim are currently in 3rd with their super smart 29-year-old manager and sitting on 58 points, and Dortmund are currently in 4th with their manager who should be getting more out of his team than he actually is and sitting on 57 points. And because of the prestige that is at stake by playing in the Champions League, which is a competition that every player wants to play in, you don't want to risk finishing in 4th in the Bundesliga and playing in that 2-legged playoff round that you play in preseason. Ultimately, it's like your first games of the whole new season. You're not even in form yet before the real money hits in the group stages and beyond. And once you get that real money, then you can sign better players and you can grow as a club. And it's kind of a vicious cycle that you need to be in the Champions League to get that sweet, sweet moolah to make that happen. So anyway, this is going to be a great game to watch because both teams play fast, they play direct, and they can hit you on the break. So I expect there to be a lot of goals. 7 to be exact, and I think Dortmund wins this 4-3. Also, here are the other games I'll be keeping my eyes on. Like Wolfsburg, Mainz, and Hamburg, who are all tied on 33 points, but only Hamburg is in the relegation zone. But Hamburg hosts Mainz this weekend, so what a game that's going to be. And all 5 teams at the bottom of the table in France, Lorient and Dijon, Dijon, Nancy, Caen, and Bastia, because all 5 of these teams are separated by only 3 points with 3 games left to go. So this weekend is important, of course, but next weekend, 4 out of these 5 clubs play against each other. So damn, dude, the end of this Ligue 1 season is going to be wild. And I'm always watching to see if Porto can catch Benfica at the top of the table, because Benfica has a 3-point lead with only a few games left to go as they look to get their 4th straight Portuguese league title. Come on, Porto, you can't let that happen again. But with both clubs having tricky road games this weekend, I think one of them is going to stumble. I just don't know which one. And the Seattle Sounders versus Toronto FC, because it's a rematch of last season's MLS Cup final, which, if you remember, I correctly predicted that the Sounders would win. So good, so smart. So smart. And with both teams finally finding their form after slow starts to the season, this should be a very good game. Also, I love watching Sebastian Jovinko and Nicolas Lodeiro play. They are so good. And Besiktas versus Fenerbahce, because after last week's loss to second place Istanbul Başakşehir, Besiktas' lead at the top of the table got cut to 4 points. So if they lose again, this time to the rivals Fenerbahce, who are in 3rd place, we could be talking about an epic collapse at the end of this Super League season. And the A-League Grand Final between Sydney FC, who have been by far the best team in the A-League all season, and the team that's been second best, the Melbourne Victory. But even though Sydney's been the best and they're hosting this game, anything can happen in a one-off match, especially when the Victory have the best big game player in A-League history in Bessart Borussia. So this is going to be a great game, and you should definitely make time for this one. And finally, every game in Liga MX, because it's the last day of the Clausura season, and there are still 13 teams that mathematically have a chance to get one of the last 8 playoff spots. Though, my favorite matchup has to be second place Monterrey, who are 1 point behind Tijuana, who are at the top of the table, because if they can get that top spot, then they can get home field advantage throughout the playoffs, and if you can get to the final and host that game, that of course is a very big deal. And they'll be taking on 9th place Morelia, who are 1 point behind Tigres for that last playoff spot, so this game is going to be loco, man. Alright, that's it. That is all I got. So I hope you guys have a good weekend, and remember, May 14th, it is going down. Also, I love you guys. Warm Ballers for life. Later.